everybody, and welcome back to the Quest Kitchen. Today we're going to be making dehydrated backpackers chili with cauliflower rice. I wanted to share the ingredients, obviously, to the recipe. So this is the sauce portion to our chili recipe. What you need is a 28-ounce can of tomatoes. We need just one of those little 7-ounce cans of tomato paste. The recipe actually called for a 4-ounce can of the green chilies. We end up having some pickled jalapenos, so I just chopped those up finely. We do have a kitchen scale, so I did measure them out, so I know we're good. The green pepper and an onion are both a half of each. And again, chop finely. When you're dehydrating things, you don't really want a lot of big chunks. The other is garlic. I mean, you could also use the garlic you get in the olive oil already. I personally prefer a little bit of a chunkier garlic in a dehydrated meal. The other is our spices. So we've got pepper, we have our pink sea salt, we have our cumin, we have our chili, and we have our cayenne. So I'm going to put the recipe down below so you know the exact amounts. Anybody who knows me knows that I've used to own a restaurant. So I've been in the restaurant business for a long time, and this is my mise en place. So I like to have everything ahead of time, done, set up, so I'm ready to go, and all I have to do is assemble and create, which is the best way to operate a kitchen. The other thing I wanted to share with you is this really fun thing. This is our little salt caddy, right? So it is a little Alton brown find, and it's fun. I mean, we just keep our pink sea salt in here. It comes with a cute little spoon, but I mean, how cute is that, right? Anyways, I just wanted to share that. So, second part of our recipe is utilizing the ground beef. That's our meat of choice. You can use venison, ground turkey, chicken, whatever you wish, ground pork, I guess, as well. So we have 2 pounds of ground beef. We are actually going to boil this meat. We're going to try and put it in slowly here with some, kind of small chunks if we can. And we'll break it up as well. The reason for boiling is the meat for dehydrating a backpacking meal is to get the fat out of it, okay? So when you have fat in a meal that you dehydrate it, it can and will become rancid. So we just kind of want to get this in here, get it cooking. So this is like the first step with the meat, because then after this, we're actually going to drain it, and then we're going to put some boiling water on it. So we'll just... Okay, so after the ground beef is boiled, we're just going to strain it here. This is step 2 of the process. Okay. So just like we were trying to break it in little bits before we put it in the pot, we want to make sure that, again, it's a really manageable size. Really excited to make these backpacking meals. So we've boiled it to get most of the fat out. The other step here is to do one last rinse with some hot water. We'll just get the whatever little bit of fat residue we have in there. Okay, so we've boiled our ground beef, we've strained it, we poured hot boiling water on it to get rid of most of the fat, hopefully all of the fat, and now we are going to distribute it onto our dehydrator trays. I want to try and make sure it's not on top of each other, or if you haven't dehydrated, is that you shouldn't dehydrate mixed items. So you shouldn't really dehydrate meat and vegetables together. I mean, we've seen people do like a meat sauce. Personally, we like to do it all in stages, like so layer them up. So this one has the ground beef obviously portion in the chili. It has the sauce portion for the chili, and then it has the cauliflower rice, which we're all going to use kind of as our little starch factor. But we're going to do the meat first, and then tomorrow we'll be able to do the cauliflower rice and the sauce at the same time, just because they're both in the little veggie category. I feel like that is pretty well spread out. So these are all stacked up. What we're using is the Nesco Dehydrator, and this is the one that John sourced out. He did a lot of research on it, and it served us well. I mean, we've done, oh my gosh, raspberries, cranberries, blueberries, zucchini chips, beef jerky, cauliflower rice, lots of good stuff. So with this one here, it's pretty simple. So it's all done by category. So with us, we're just going to go meat. So it's going to go to the 160 Fahrenheit or the 71 degrees Celsius. They just stack up and line up. And with a dehydrator, they come with multiple trays. I think we have 7 in total, so we can do, multi-layers, obviously. Because we just have the 2 layers for the meat, we're just going to keep with 2. So it's the base, 2 layers, and then the modem, I guess it is, or operational lid. Anyways, and that's it. We're going to plug it in. So we are set. We're going to check it again in 3 hours. All right, it is sauce time. So just a little bit of oil in there, nothing too crazy. I just want to saute the onions and the peppers and kind of get them a little lucid. So we'll get that going. Just, medium-ish heat, I guess. My light keeps going out. That's okay. So let's get in here with the onions. And actually, onions and peppers can go at the same time because they're the same kind of consistency. A couple things with this recipe too is that because we're doing it in 3 different stages, like the meat, the sauce, and then the cauliflower rice, and then going to combine everything, is when you would normally make a chili, you would obviously put the meat in the sauce and you would watch it and reduce it. So with doing and building this recipe, you have to really make sure the sauce is really good and thick. And even though we're going to add the beef to it later, you want that consistency of being that thick, hearty chili. So I know we do, like, and we will want that, like, after, we hit the trail and stuff like that. So absolutely. This actually doesn't take long at all, which is really nice. And all you have to look for is just your peppers turn a brighter green, your onions become a little translucent, and then the next thing we're going to do is, can we heat this a little bit, and let that add our spices. So we went over the spices yesterday. So again, it's the pepper, the salt, the cumin, the chili, and the cayenne. A lot of Indian cooking calls for warming up your spices, and that's just putting it in this stage here, and that so it gets really happy in the pot on the bottom and doesn't get kind of mixed up with all of the actual like sauce pot. So you should be able to hear it, smell it as it warms up. It kind of has that same consistency as when you're making curry at home. So it just kind of coats the onions, which is amazing. So then once everything else hits the onions and the peppers, it'll just kind of leach out all those spices again. Oh my god, you guys need smell-o-vision. It smells delicious in here. But I mean, it's become thicker too, which is nice. And you can see all that oil has been absorbed as well. So that is amazing. All right, so let's do a little bit of the tomato paste next. And all that's gonna do is just give it a little bit more liquid right now and clear up everything that's kind of stuck on the bottom. There we go. This picks up everything, which is amazing. You can just tell it's kind of calmed down a little bit as far as like the sizzle here. But now this paste has taken on that really awesome flavor. So next thing is going to be the jalapenos that we decided to put in because that's what we had in the house. But like I said, you could have used the green chilies as well. Some people just do like a dump pot and just throw everything in. I personally like to do everything by texture and then liquid. So the harder things first, meaning, you know, the onions and the peppers because they do longer, and then the tomato paste, like I said, to kind of get everything and absorb all those spices again. So now that's gonna be like totally right throughout it. The next again was the jalapenos because of a little bit of a liquid factor, and it is a vegetable and it has already been softened, so does it need to be softened? And then after that is the garlic. So many people want to put the garlic the same time as your onions and your peppers, but don't do that because it has a higher burn ratio and it gets burnt very, very fast. So this is just, again, making everything all happy in the pot here. Oh my gosh, wonderful. I'm just very, very excited about this. I keep saying that though. Oh goodness. All right. So now the garlic is going to keep cooking as we add the tomatoes. Wow. Let's give that a little bit of a... All right. So this is the easy part. This is set it and forget it once we get it all wonderful in here. Now we both like it spicier, but what we'll do is kind of once it simmers and becomes a little more thick, obviously, and the peppers and the onions and the spices and the garlic and the jalapenos and everything all, you know, blend in nicely, do a little taste test and see if I kind of want to kick it up a little bit. You can see it's won't take long to get to that consistency either. So that is all good there. I think what we'll do is turn it down low, lid it, and we'll just check in on it. And once it gets that desired consistency, then we're going to tray it up. All right, let's see where we are at here. You can tell by the lines, right? It's reduced nicely here. Get all that goodness off the sides. So two things. One is I like the consistency. I feel like it has reduced enough. The other is I'm going to go in for a little taste to see the spice factor. We always keep a little bit of tasting spoons and forks by the stove, so we always have something to go to with this cool. All right, I'm going in. One, to see how spicy it is for both John and I. I can tell you right now it's going to be too hot for my mother. Oh yeah, that's got some good spice factor. Woo! I say this is a go. Okay, so we are on to the cauliflower rice. A couple things you can do. You can use your food processor. I can't stand cleaning the food processor, so I don't use it, but I don't like the consistency that it has. If you're doing like multiple heads of cauliflower to make the cauliflower rice, then by all means use it. I personally like the box grater, right? I just cut up the cauliflower, took the stem, the leaves, the stems off, got the florets left, and now we're just gonna grate. And that's it. I mean, it is pretty simple. And it doesn't take long, actually. The only thing is that it's like it's snowing. We have cauliflower rice, everybody. Check that out. I mean, it looks great, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna transfer it to a bowl for now, so it'll be a little easier to put onto the tray. And we'll talk portioning again just a little bit later on when we start putting our meals together. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go check the sauce. Let's get to dehydrating the veggie portion. So I have 4 trays now on the dehydrator. I have 2 that have the same mesh that we used for the ground beef. That I'm going to use for the cauliflower rice. We have 2 of those. And then the other 2 I have the plastic liner on there. These are all bought separately too. I think they come maybe with 2 of these, and then you want the ones for extra. But because we have 7 trays, we bought the extra. So, same thing, just like the ground beef with the cauliflower. You're just gonna, kind of finely put it on here and spread it out. I feel like we'll be fine with just the 2 trays as well. I don't feel like it's gonna be kind of crazy. This is gonna shrink down to like nothing. You thought the ground beef was like, holy moly, like where did 2 pounds of ground beef go? You'll be like, holy moly, where did a whole head of cauliflower go? Obviously putting the cauliflower rice on the bottom just in case it falls through. We don't want it falling into our sauce. Okay, so now we've got the rice and then we have the sauce. So the portioning factor with the sauce is kind of twofold. So one is we know we're just gonna put it on here and dehydrate it, which is cool. The second part is we have to measure it because I know how much to put, I know how much of the ground beef to put in for our backpacker meals. We know that a 1/4 cup of dehydrated cauliflower equals 1 cup of regular cauliflower rice. So with this, I know that 1 cup of our chili sauce is perfect for 1 individual meal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 cups each on a tray. So I know that when this tray dehydrates, that it'll be exactly 1 full tray of the chili sauce that's going to go in to make a meal here. Until you see this when it's dehydrated, you're going to go crazy. I just can't believe it. It goes to like nothing. It becomes translucent. So that was it. So this recipe yielded 4 cups of the actual chili sauce itself. And man, it's really good. Not lying, I'm super excited to taste. I keep saying I'm super excited to taste this, but truly I have. I mean, I think it's nice. 1, to make your own meals. 2, to know what goes in it. And 3, I mean, like I said, we're trying to eat and have a bit of a keto lifestyle, and we haven't struggled with it at all. Like, it's just amazing. So we're gonna just check in on our cauliflower rice and our chili sauce. So first let's check the rice portion. This has been going for 6 hours now. I'm gonna say that rice looks pretty good. Look at how tiny it is. We'll take that off, definitely. Let's check out the, oh my gosh. Look at that. Remember, it was all huge and sussy and wet and just drying up really nice. That is probably gonna be another 6 to 8 hours easily. So we'll just keep checking on that as well. So it's time to check on our chili. We know the cauliflower rice is all done. Oh, yeah, check that out. That is actually perfect. Oh my goodness, we are ready to go. So we will take the chili off and start putting together our backpacking meals for this weekend. All right, last step is to assemble our backpacking meal. So I've talked about using our kitchen scale before. This one is called Kitchen Gurus, and I'm just going to get this on. We're going to do it in grams, okay? So I'm going to put our bowl on there, zero it out. A little rule of thumb for your meat ratio is about 50 grams per person. So I'm just going to do 100 grams in here, rather. It's actually quite a bit. You'd be shocked. But I mean, look at this stuff, the gravel, which is what everybody calls this, of course. We're getting close. All right, so that is 100 grams of ground beef, which is kind of crazy. We'll just get that out of the way. Here is the chili sauce itself. Okay, so that's already dehydrated nicely. So if we were not going to go right away, I would package all 3 of these separately and either put them in the freezer depending on how quickly we were going to be going out and using them. If not, they would just go in our pantry. So chili sauce, then we're going to put the 100 grams of ground beef in there. And with the cauliflower rice, 1/4 cup of the dried cauliflower equates to 1 cup of regular cauliflower rice. So this will be like the perfect mixture for us. That looks great. And obviously if we had multiple meals, I would label this so we know what it is, but I feel like we're ready to go. All right, we are set. This is the finished product of our backcountry chili with ground beef and cauliflower rice. It's taken 2 days to do all 3 stages to get to this point. And the last one is, let's hit the trail and enjoy our backpacking meal.